Good morning, children. We are starting letter writing for this week. Letter writing is a very important writing skill, and it is very important for board examination because every year there will be one question on letter writing, and that will be for 6 marks. In the case of 12th class, the formal letters are very important because only the official letters will be asked in the examination. Now we live in an era of latest technologies that enable us to communicate with each other at lightning speed. Today, when we are living in this modern world, for us, time is very important, and therefore our dependence upon letters is reduced. We prefer emails, SMS to traditional letters without understanding their importance. So our dependence is more on emails and SMS rather than traditional letter. When you write a letter, you have to post that letter in the post office and you have to send by post. So that will take a number of days. That may take 5 days, 6 days. But the importance of traditional letter is altogether different. The kind of emotional appeal these traditional letters have, the kind of creativity we could exemplify in those letters, that's altogether different kind of experience. Some of us have never received a letter delivered by a postman. So our dependence upon email or SMS has been too much that we hardly get letter from the post office. We don't have time to write a traditional letter or the patience to wait for such a letter, and therefore our dependence has been more on emails. But letters have some uniqueness. So there are some unique qualities of letters. They create a nostalgic feeling in us. Sometimes we preserve those letters that we have received from our friends, that we have received during our college days, that we have received when we were children. Though faster and more convenient, an electronic mail fails to evoke the sentiment or the emotions of a traditional letter. Apart from this, longer formal emails differ from traditional formal letters only in the format. For the rest, they are essentially the same. Formal letters still play an important role in the life of modern man. They enable us to be professionally efficient and carve a place for us in the modern professional environment. So letter writing is a very important skill, and you should know how to write to whom. The format is also very important. The kind of language we have to use has to be very formal and official. It is extremely significant for us to know how to write letters in the correct format. We don't know many people on a personal level. For this, formal letters are helpful to convey the task needed to be done. Now let us see types of letters. Remember, there are 2 types of letters. One is formal letter and another one is informal letter. So formal letter, that's an official letter. When you are working office, the official correspondence that is done, that's a formal letter. Formally it is done. Whereas informal letter, you are writing to your friends or relatives. So formal letters are those that are used for formal situations, such as in corporates, for invitations, for complaints, for recommendations, and so on. Informal letters are those that are exchanged between family members, friends, and close relatives. They are written to mark a special occasion or cover the endurance of long distances. Now, formal letters are in some ways similar to business letters. They follow the business letter format. They also include letters of application, letters written to government officials. Now, formal letters, business to firms and individuals on business matters. Then editorial, expressing public opinion or views, registering protest. So if you have got complaint against something, you want to point out something has happened, some meanness is there in your area, then also you write letters to the editor. Officials, and there in the newspaper you find a column for public letters. Official, the officials making requests or sending application. Now from examination point of view, this year they have deleted business letters and official letters. But editorials, that letter to the editor that is there, and application for a job that is also there. Remember the format of the application for the job or the letter to the editor, it is same which is there for formal letters. So job related letters applying for a job, this is also very important. It is there included for in the examination. So we write a formal letter or an application to apply for preferred jobs in the market. Accepting an offer or declining an offer. We write a formal letter to accept a job offer, declining an offer. A formal letter is also written to decline a job offer. But application for a job is very important and that is included in the letter writing for this year. Now letters of complaint, letters of request, so letters to government or non-government organizations, all these are not included this particular year in the syllabus for the examination. So we'll go in detail letters to the editors because they are very important. Remember, for this year in the board examination, letters to editors and application for a job are there in letter writing. So we will concentrate only on letters to editors and application for a job. So these are letters voicing concern about relevant social issues. So if any social issue is there or any problem you are facing in your area, not only to you but the problem is being faced by the community, then in order to voice your concern, in order to bring to the notice of all people, you write a letter to the editor and they will publish there in that particular column where letters of the public they are published in. They can shape the opinion of public. It is in order to mobilize the public opinion. They are usually printed in newspapers and magazines, comment on a current issue that needs to be dealt with on a mass level. Sometimes you will write a letter about the features that or articles that have been published in the newspaper or magazine. Those letters are also published in the newspapers as well as magazines. Now letters ordering goods, this is again business letter which is not very important from examination point of view. You can just read that. Now format of a formal letter. Now here remember this format will carry weightage. So therefore you have to keep that in the mind, and if proper format is not there for your letter, then they will get marks. Name and address of the sender. At the top there has to be name and address of the sender, then date, name and the designation of the receiver, address of the receiver, subject of the letter, salutation, content of the letter, subscription, signature and the name of the sender. Now letter to the editor or letter to the or application for a job. Now here name and address, who is sending that, name of the sender, then date, The name and designation of the receiver, that is now the editor. Hindu, the Times of India, that is what will come. Address of the receiver. So their address also you have to write. Subject of the letter. So which particular subject or which you want to write, then that subject is very important there. Then salutation. So respected sir or sir, that you can write there. The content of the letter, that's the body of the letter, is very important, and that will also carry a lot of weightage. So here, how you write your fluency, your expression, your presentation, that is what will carry weightage here. Subscription. Now here in the case of a letter to the editor, you can write in yours truly, signature, and the name of the sender, that is at the end. Now receiver's designation address, the address should be written in detail to avoid any confusion. Date, the correct date of submission of the letter should be mentioned. And the style of writing, that is also very important there. Salutation or greeting, salutation is important to denote respect. Sir or respected sir, then you can use it in the case of salutation. Now your subject, a phrase containing key words, it highlights the concerned issue. Don't write very long sentences there. So when you are writing subject, you can write in 3 or 4 words. Now your body of the letter in 3 parts. That's the introduction. First you have to introduce what you are writing, then main content, then you have to give in detail about what you are introduced, then you have to make a concluding remark there in the case of conclusion. Now subscription, when you are writing, you can write yours faithfully or yours truly. You can avoid nowadays yours faithfully. Signature, sender's signature with name and designation. So when you are writing subscription, write only yours truly. Don't write yours faithfully. Now points to remember. Very important tips here. Points to remember. Write the address, the date, the salutation, and the subscription near the left side margin. Remember, whatever you are writing, like address or date, all that should come to the left margin. And even subscription, all that should be there at the left side margin. Divide the content or body of the letter into 3 paragraphs featuring introduction, content, and conclusion. So first paragraph has to be introductory paragraph. Second paragraph, that you can write in detail about what you are introduced, and last paragraph should be concluding paragraph. Now check this. Be accurate, concise, and specific. So be accurate. So don't go on explaining. Then you have to write in detail, but you have to be to the point. Apply creativity in the presentation of ideas. So here in the case of content, you can write very creatively there. Organize your ideas before writing the letter. That is also very important here. Be simple, direct, and to the point. Don't beat about the bush, right? To the point. Now let us see important tips here. Avoid using informal language. Remember here, you are writing formal letter. So it is for official purpose. It is understood that you don't know the person to whom you are writing. If it's your relative or friend, then you can use very informal language. So you can be in friendly terms. So in the case of only friends or relatives, you should use informal language. But for 12th class, there is only formal letter. That is letter to the editor. So you can't use that friendly tone in the case of letter to the editor, because you are pointing out a particular issue and you are trying to bring to the notice of the editor as well as the public. So therefore, your language has to be very informal language. Be as precise as possible. So you have to be precise when you are writing that on what you are talking about. You have to be brief. Because it is not that you have been given a lot of scope there. You have to write only one paragraph and therefore be as precise as possible. Cross-check for any grammatical and spelling errors. You should avoid that grammatical errors there, spelling errors there. Even if writing a complete letter, be polite in your words. So when you are writing a complaint letter, if you are complaining about something, you are bringing about a particular issue, then also your language has to be very polite when you are writing that. Keep this thing in the mind, very important thing, that your language has to be formal or that's official language. Then secondly, be precise and then find out whether you have committed any grammatical or spelling errors, and remember that when you are writing this kind of letter, that's an official or formal letter, your language, or you have to be very polite. Your language has to be not friendly but polite. Not that you are writing a letter to your friend or relatives. You are writing a letter for official purpose. You are writing a letter to draw the public attention. Therefore, be polite when you are drafting official letter.